What if one day the roles between humans and beasts flipped? The horror would be unimaginable. It's a chilling mirror when the powerful treat others as less than human. History has shown. Horrors always follow. In the first arc of Beastmen's world, the nightmare begins when the protagonist stumbles into a Beastman village. There he discovers a chilling truth: the village was raising humans like cattle. Their flesh was harvested as the main source of meat, the currency of survival here. Women became disposable tools, sacrificed to satisfy the desires of men who could never find wives. Meanwhile, the ruling elites of the Beastmen organized grand manhunts, where humans were chased for sport. The protagonist himself became nothing more than prey in this sadistic game. His daughter Kinge was stolen away, reduced to a pet of Deerhorn Ridge's cruel master. But fate twisted. Reborn as a lynx, he vowed to strike back in blood. Yet even his vengeance crumbled beneath the might of Lord Taolin, and he fell. As Taolin carved his tribute to the mother host, the human army stormed the village in a purge. In the chaos, Lord Taolin was slain by the captain's blade, Justice, but only for a fleeting moment. It was then revealed that the ruling class cared nothing for race or bloodline. What existed was not species, but class alone. Those elites, to satisfy their grotesque cravings, built thousands of flesh farms worldwide, some disguised as quiet villages, others as corporations. This echoes our own world, where exploitation often hides behind schools, companies, even charities. The disguise makes it more terrifying. Schools, just masks for slaughter, and even orphanages, factories of despair. All of it to cultivate the most exquisite meat, delivered to the banquet tables of the hybrid. The second arc peeled the skin off deeper horrors, exposing how the elites devoured and enslaved the weak. Even the lowliest beastmen joined in the cruelty, feeding on the powerless. Take Old Bull, for instance, in his madness for milk. He strung human women from rafters like livestock. Kinge nearly fell prey to his vile obsession, but lust consumed Old Bull, and he perished by his own desire. Old Bull's obsession shows how unchecked desire consumes the predator as much as the prey. Kinge slipped free from his monster's grasp. In the third arc, Kinge embraced his father's lynx blood, determined to carry vengeance against his tormentors. Revenge isn't just survival here, it's identity, passed like a curse. Meanwhile, Old Bull adopted a boy, but years of abuse twisted the child's soul. He was broken, brainwashed, to believe that this monster was his mother. Every night he dreamed of that cow burning alive, screaming in fire. He longed for a mother's love so desperately that even this beast could draw tears from him. In a world so twisted, even love becomes indistinguishable from horror. Tears for his lost mother slipped down his cheeks, and in his dream he felt a strange tongue upon his skin. When he opened his eyes, Kinge was there, licking away his tears as if savoring sorrow itself. Startled, the boy shot upright, demanding to know what Kinge was doing. Kinge calmly replied it was nothing, just watching him sleep. Furious, the boy warned him never to lick him again, telling him to get lost. But Kinge kept following, a few steps behind. He shadowed the boy at a distance of several meters. Through the forest, across the bridge, he followed, all the while humming eerie children's songs. Annoyed, the boy finally spun around and shouted, "Why are you following me? My mother died because of you. My father too. If you had never appeared, at least I would still have a family." He snapped a branch from a tree, gripping it with rage. "I should kill you and then eat you? That would avenge my parents." Kinge answered calmly, "Go ahead, kill me. If it makes you laugh, I'll accept it." The boy swung the branch down onto Kinge's skull with brutal force. He had killed many before, and now he showed no mercy, striking again and again. Facing a defenseless Kinge, the boy's blows were relentless, until bone shattered and an eyeball rolled free from its socket. Violence had become his only language, his only way to speak grief. But then, something horrifying happened. The flesh around King G's wounds writhed and twisted. It began knitting itself back together, regenerating. "Sorry," King smirked, "I can't die." The boy's fury drained away. Fate itself seemed to refuse King G's death. Resigned, the boy lit a fire. He roasted a frog over the flames. With innocent malice, King G asked, "If you die, can I eat your corpse?" "You taste sweet. Healthy your meat would be perfect. And your body looks strong. I'm certain. Your teeth are white and solid. You're beautiful, truly." Hearing this, the boy should have recoiled in terror. Instead, his face flushed red with confusion. For Old Bull had long taught him being eaten was the truest form of love. To him, love had always meant one thing: if someone wanted to eat you, it meant they loved you. He thought bitterly, if this strange lamb craved his flesh so much, then surely it meant love that reached down to the bone. Afterward, he even apologized for smashing King G's skull earlier, asking softly if it had hurt. King G admitted the pain was sharp and the healing process even worse. "But you too," he added, "were crying in your sleep. You whimpered like a wounded child, lost in nightmares." The boy froze, remembering that dream. He said nothing more. At last, he broke the silence. "My name is Murphy." Then he asked, "And you? What's your name?" King G lowered his gaze, memories of his past gone. I'm number 1128. Murphy shook his head. "That's no name. So what's your plan then?" "My plan is simple," King said. "Fill my stomach and live. Eat enough to keep going." Murphy frowned. "But you're always eating. And still your belly growls like thunder." "I'm always hungry," King sighed. "No matter how much I eat, it never feels enough." "So what do you do then?" "I sleep. When I sleep, I forget hunger." "Why don't you sleep with me?" "How about it, Murphy?" Murphy snapped, "No way. I'm afraid you'll eat me while I sleep." "I wouldn't do that," King said with childlike honesty. "I want to live. My mother is." But before he could finish, King had already slipped into sleep. Murphy seized the moment and slipped away into the forest. His thoughts burned. "That beast tore my mother open. She died because of him. I will never be his friend." For Murphy, hatred was safer than forgiveness. It kept his grief alive. Elsewhere, King was training when he heard a voice call. He turned toward it, whispering, "Is that me?" In his eyes, his reflection had become a grotesque monster. Suddenly, the monster roared, "Run!" King jolted awake. Before him stood Beastmen soldiers, marching closer. A high-ranking lord had ordered them to sweep the land. They searched every corner. Their mission: find King at all costs and verify their target with ruthless precision. The hunt had begun, and this time, mercy was not on the menu. To confirm his identity, the dog-headed soldier slashed off King G's ear and watched it heal instantly, proving he was their target. They bound him tightly, ready to claim the reward. At that moment, Murphy returned, calm and calculating. He feigned innocence, pretending to be a lost child begging for food, all to get closer. However, a gun was pressed to his head, and the soldiers mocked this was no place for humans. One sneered, suggesting they eat him, boasting it had been too long since they tasted child flesh. The dog-headed one remained cautious, insisting the boy be taken to their leader first. Suddenly, a blade erupted upward through a soldier's chin. Murphy had dropped the act. He launched a furious assault, cutting soldiers down with terrifying precision. One soldier screamed, trying to fire, but Murphy leapt onto his face and stabbed mercilessly. In seconds, more than 10 blows reduced him to a corpse. But before Murphy could finish the last one, King was seized as a hostage. "Don't move, or he dies," the soldier threatened, yet a blur sliced across his arm. Blood spurted as deep gashes opened, and before he could react, Murphy's blade drove straight into his skull. Maybe it was because Old Bull had raised him on blood and violence that Murphy's killing skills were so honed. He thought himself triumphant, certain he could take on 3 alone, until a sickening chewing echoed behind him. Turning, he saw King devouring a soldier's intestines raw, blood dripping from his mouth. Murphy shouted, stopping him if he must eat, at least cook it first or risk disease. But King licked his lips, insisting it was already delicious this way. Murphy scolded him food had to be respected, effort made if it was to be truly good. Even amid carnage, he clung to ritual and respect for life's last offering. So King sulked, sitting on a tree trunk, waiting like a chastised child. Meanwhile, Murphy calmly carved out the dogman's tongue, preparing it with unsettling care. The scene twisted survival into something grotesquely domestic. Murphy roasted the dogman's tongue with some dry meat rich in nutrients and handed it to King. By the fire, King took a bite, his eyes widening. The crispy aroma burst across his tongue, overwhelming every sense. He gasped that never before had he tasted something so divine, so dangerously delicious. Through this blood-soaked feast, forged by survival, they became bound as friends. Sometimes it's not trust, but shared horror that seals a bond. Side by side at the campfire, they savored roasted dog meat, as if it were a banquet of kings. Irony cut sharp, comfort and health feels sweeter than paradise. But in their fragile peace, they never noticed the shadow creeping closer. High above, a vampire bat lurked silently. It swooped from the branches and landed with a thud. From its back it pulled a grotesque tube, sliding it into its mouth. Scarlet blood rushed through the straw, gurgling into its throat. On its back, a living human blood bag twitched, one end fixed cruelly to the man's skull. As the blood drained, the victim's skin turned pale and lifeless, until he was sucked dry alive, then tossed aside like garbage. The true terror here isn't monsters, it's how easily life is discarded. The bat let out a grotesque burp, savoring its meal. Its hungry gaze locked onto Murphy, eyes gleaming with fresh hunger. A new hunt had just begun, and this time, they were the prey. Peace never lasts, every firelight is only a pause before the next darkness. This story is brutal, disturbing, yet fascinating. It flips our world upside down and asks what humanity really means. The mix of horror and dark satire makes Beastmen's world unforgettable. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel grow. And remember, this is only the first part of the chapter. 2 more parts remain, and the twist ahead will shake you even harder. Please also support the original by buying and reading it, so the creator's vision continues to thrive.